Wow. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't even know why I'm recording this because I'm not normally somebody that would put myself in this particular spotlight when I'm dealing with things emotionally. And I'm talking about like on a really like intense level. Like there's grief involved, sadness, confusion, times where like, as individuals, like we feel like we're really being tested and we're dealing and facing so many different things at one time that it becomes overwhelming. So before I even start expressing myself in like what I've been dealing with in the recent, year, if you're somebody who cannot handle taking on somebody else's energy when it comes to like grief, sadness, or just like trauma that they have dealt with, then I highly recommend that you don't watch the rest of this video, because this might be the first time that I am completely raw, transparent and open with people on the internet. When I look at my community, I see a lot of you guys as like my family, my extended family, but this video, I'm just going to post it because I don't know. Something's leading me to, as much as I don't want to, that I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit pushback right now. I'm second guessing even just talking about this stuff, but I've had a lot of time to sit with myself. And I apologize, y'all. The reason why I got this light on is because I don't need y'all to see the redness in my eyes. So it's like the lighting is kind of like hitting just right. So it kind of you don't see it, but I'm very emotional right now, and y'all will hear it in my voice and you'll probably see it on my face. I'm definitely, some tears is going to come out. Because this is me expressing myself at the core of what I've been dealing with. I'm somebody who am naturally a caregiver. I take care of others. My friends and family, people that I connect with and build a relationship with, I care about. And that means extended family as well. I just got the news last night that my step grandmother passed away. And I'll admit, in a slight aspect, it kind of triggered me a little bit, because for some of you guys that's been following my journey as a content creator, if any of y'all have been around me, since I've started, you know that I also had lost my grandmother on my dad's side of the family. When I really started, like, streaming wise, things really started to pick up. I had this burst of like energy and like motivation. I'm sorry. But I had this burst of like energy, motivation. I was learning about myself and learning how to embrace my creativity. And I was getting out of this shell that I was in, because naturally I'm an introvert. I don't go out and interact with a lot of people. And it's not because like I can't make connections or like make friends. It's just I'm very reserved. Like I'm always paying attention to my surroundings. I try to be careful about, certain rooms that I'm in and things like that, because my upbringing, I'm not saying that I've gone through a lot of tragedies, but like, I've experienced things through my childhood into my adult life that just make, I try to make intentional decisions when it comes to like who I decide to be around, the type of people that I bring into my circle, things like that. Like I don't want to say I'm picky, but like I'm very intentional about like who I give my energy to. So, a lot of times I'm not always like out partying or doing certain things. Like I do enjoy being able to go out and network and enjoying different events and things like that. But it's at a scale where like I know I can manage it and I can handle it. And I have some type of control over my environment. Long story short, hearing about this, and I'm obviously upset. I even attempted to do a stream last night. I couldn't really do it. I wasn't talking. I don't even know why I pressed go live. It's been hard, y'all. It's been tough. I've lost in just the past year, 4 relatives, people very close, very important to me. And y'all, they weren't even that old. Like, I mean, it's a lot of heartbreak going on right now. But also while I am receiving the news of losing loved ones, I was also dealing with my own personal challenges. I was in a living situation. I was in a toxic environment that just was not healthy for me, mentally, physically, and just emotionally. It was not a healthy space for me to be in. And I found myself being in survival mode a lot of times, just like trying to maintain peace, dimming my light to the point where, I'm trying to make sure that, okay, me being around this person, I don't cause any trouble or issues or anything like that. Like, it's like I stay to myself and just go about my day. I go to work, I try to maintain my businesses and things like that. I tried as best as I could to stay out of the way, not to, interact with this person as much as I needed to and things like that. So, I'm in survival mode. I'm living in this situation. I'm living in an environment that just wasn't healthy for me across like all spectrums. And, I finally get to a point where, okay, I can now leave that toxic environment, but the transition was so very stressful. Like, I'm talking about my routine was completely broken apart, and it got to the point where my quality of life was disrupted. It was interfered with, because I was doing things and I was interacting with people that were bringing me joy into my life. And, for somebody to go so far out of their way to try to like ruin that for me was just, it was just like, why? Because I'm not somebody that intentionally attacks people. I'm not somebody, even if we don't get along, I'm not going out of my way to ruin you. I'm not going out of my way to make you miserable because we don't agree on the same things. I always distance myself from people with love, despite the fact that we might not be compatible as friends or, as a couple or anything like that. I always try to, meet people where they are at. I don't judge people, it's just a lot emotionally. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, I know I'm a good person and I would never do or say anything to somebody to, break down their character or make them feel worse than what they're at, because we all go through our own individual struggles. We all go through our own individual seasons where, sometimes the other person can't help you come out of the situation in you. And I'm fully understandable of that. But it's the lack of empathy that some people have that really triggers me. But yeah, like, at the result of all this, I have been very happy lately. I've been very creative. I've been, finding myself gaining a lot back that what I felt like I lost when I initially started this journey. But there are moments where I fall short and I feel like the world is crashing down on me. And today is definitely one of those days. Might be the rest of the week. I don't know. Like I can't even really think and function and focus on work right now. It's been really tough. It's been really hard. I feel like I'm alone. I'm not technically, because I have my mom, my dad, my son. I have my family, but it's certain things that people in my life can't touch. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like certain people touch certain aspects of my life. And my mom, for example, like it's just certain things that like might be going on with me emotionally, she won't be able to touch. Even though she's my mother, I know she loves me, I know she cares about me. It's just certain things that she cannot, like she just won't be able to heal. That's why I always turn to God. I seek God in a lot of the things that I'm dealing with emotionally, because certain people can't touch it. And it doesn't matter how much motivation somebody give me, how much praise I get. It's just, it's just never going to be enough. And I am in a season right now where I am terrified. There's been so much loss around me, and some of them are living. It's one thing to lose a loved one, and you're never going to be able to see them again. You're never going to be able to speak to them again. But I've had to deal with a lot of losses of those who are actually still here, and a lot of that has been messing with me mentally a little bit. And I'm not okay, y'all. I'm not okay. I'm actually hurting a lot inside. And I feel alone. I feel lonely in my situation. Man, I'm terrified about this upcoming surgery. Like, I have a lot of trust in my surgeon, don't get it wrong. But, I try to stay away from social media and like just talks about like women's bodies, because like you hear so many stories. You hear like all the crazy stuff that Black women go through, going through certain surgeries. It's so invasive when it comes to a Black woman's body. Certain hospitals and certain doctors don't care about us. And that much is pretty evident. Thank God I have the doctor that I have. But man, I'm telling y'all, I've had, it's women in my life, I know they went through so much pain, and outcome of some of the things that they had to go through, not being heard, not being listened to when they're speaking about the pain that they're dealing with their bodies. It's a little scary. Like, I'm not even in my 40s yet. Like, I still have a lot to look forward to. And I'm trying not to be so much like focused on the flesh and like, what I can and can't do. But y'all, it's hard. Like, we're human. Like, I'm not perfect. And as much as I try to talk myself out of like feeling a certain type of way about certain things, it's hard to do that when your support system is so thinned out, or like, everybody else like might be going through something, so you can't lean on people sometimes when you're going through certain stuff, because they're going through stuff. So it's I don't know, it's just tough. It's hard, it's difficult, it's challenging. So y'all be patient with me. Like, I'm trying my best. I am trying my best. But I wanted to bring this to y'all raw and personal. I pray a lot. I see God a lot. But at the end of the day, we're human, and I have moments where I do fall short, and man, I let fear take over. I let doubt, worry, and just everything just starts to take over, and then it becomes a battle, becomes a mental battle. I'm going through that right now. Man, I got snot running down my nose. I'm not trying to make y'all cry or be, have y'all hitting me up like, hey, I'm gonna be okay. It's just, I don't know, for a moment, it just, something told me to just talk about it. As moments I'm just like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I really walking the path that God has laid out for me? Like, am I truly walking the path that He has shown me? Because I lead with my heart. I always lead with my heart, y'all. And man, it's so hard. It's been hard. It's been challenging. I'm scared. I'm grieving. I'm just feeling all these emotions at one time. Honestly, I don't know what it is to get out of posting this or sharing this with y'all. I'm just telling y'all what's on my heart, what's been on my mind, and what I've been going through. It's been tough. It's been tough. But I wanted to take the opportunity to also say thank you to everybody who does check in on me, who reaches out, see if I'm okay. I appreciate y'all. From the bottom of my heart, I really, truly appreciate y'all, and I won't take that for granted at all. But y'all gotta be patient with me. It's been tough.